Hey folks, this is your host ThriftyGamer83 here, bringing you my look back at rental shops. Rental stores were a great way to get a sense of flavor of gaming which you normally would not have played. For me, there was renting Doom for the Super Nintendo, as I'm more or less playing role-playing games and enjoying those nowadays. Sometimes it was fun for a little break, just to take a break away from a comfort zone that you had in gaming. And rental shops delivered that to such a rate that you really felt like you could picture owning the game. As a result, that is what drove the video games industry into purchasing games. It was really that enjoyable factor of, well, I like this game, so I may purchase it. Or for some games, it was just, that's not really my flavor. Yet you had video game rentals, and you had VHS rentals. Later on, it became CD, DVD, video game rentals. All in all, the 80s and 90s for gaming for kids was an expansive and explosive market. For the kids, you could rent video games. For the adults, you could go into a package plan for, say, Blockbuster, Sounds Easy Video, Movie Gallery, and you would have that benefit that you could rent movies for a package fee, say 5 for 5 days at about $6, or for gaming 2 for 2 days. It was really that toss-up. It was the perfect storm and tempest that just meant that late 80s, early 90s was gaming bliss. As time went on and the new internet became a functional medium, you started seeing the video game rental shops dying. Mom and pop shops went bust overnight. They were sold. They closed down their storefronts completely, and you never heard from them ever again. It is something really which brings a tear to my eye, but it also proves the expansiveness of the growing technological boom in digital gaming. You have Steam nowadays, you have Ubisoft's Uplay, you can download games directly to the PlayStation 3, Wii U, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. That is what really tore the heart out of mom and pop and larger stores. Blockbuster and Sounds Easy, Movie Gallery, they just pretty much faltered overnight. They had no real plan in the booming infrastructure. They were worried about the .com boom exposing weaknesses in their stores, so they never really went for anything other than the physical, tangible medium. You could step into a store and be greeted by knowledgeable people who knew what you needed and knew what you wanted. As a matter of fact, it was a good way to find games that you just wanted to purchase pre-owned. You could pick up, say, Quake 64, as I did, for $5 at a time from a local movie gallery. Now though, well, wow, I look back on those days and I miss those days, and it really means that has died down in rural areas where I live as well. It has just plain dropped off the radar. There's no more rental shop. It seems that internet killed the rental shop pretty much. It just ripped its heart out while it was still beating, might I add. It makes me miss the days when you could go down to the corner, see if they had Resident Evil in stock, grab it, take it home and play it. Nowadays, though, you get to download trials or demos and see if you like the game. I myself miss those days, yet it's really hard to say whether I miss them because of all the interesting people that I've met, all the interesting owners, those who just loved gaming, There was one gentleman in particular who actually kept an Atari 2600 from the rental days, from the early days of starting his shop, in a nice pristine glass container, I guess you'd say, up at the front of his shop, next to the register. And you really got the sense of commitment. You really got the sense that this was a community built not just for gamers, but for families. As I said before, though, time went on. Time marches on all the time. Time is something which really doesn't stand still in technological realms. You have to see it. You have to experience it. Sadly, though, not a lot of rental shops went into the digital age with any plans. They could not compete against Netflix, they could not compete against GameFly, they could not compete against Steam, Uplay, or any other version of what was currently becoming the hottest flavor in gaming. They stayed stagnant. They stayed as stores which didn't really have a concrete emphasis or meaning behind them. I truly miss those days. I truly miss those days going into the stores with my older brother, just deciding to pop over for a weekend, see him and his girlfriend at the time. Just really miss those days. In high school, you had Mountain Dew Code Red all-nighters with Resident Evil 2. It was so amazingly intense for survival horror games. And that is a topic for another video. As I said before, this is on rental, but to get the picture, you could just rent the game, enjoy it, and say, well, I'll buy it. And that's generally what you did. It really is time to admit it, though. It stagnated. You got to see retail stores and grocers no longer carry rental titles. They no longer sign contracts with differing competing firms to carry video games, and it really was that final nail in the coffin for rental shop. You could pop down to a corner, like I said before, and just the people you would meet, just the owners and the workers there, they made everything that much better. You could talk to them, you could get to know who they ordered from. I remember one owner would always show me the brochures of what he had for Squaresoft, because I simply loved role-playing games. I wanted Secret of Mana 3 Second Daihatsu. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I wanted it to come to the States. I wanted to rent it. I really did want to rent it. That didn't happen. And wow, it's just that look back, it's nostalgic to remember what rental shops were, where you could just go in and talk to somebody. Nowadays online, you get the social interaction if you do the commentary with Facebook, with YouTube like I'm doing here, but you just don't get to physically meet people or talk to them. Anyways, folks, rant, rave, love, hate, I've enjoyed making this video. I hope to make many, many more. I will see you again next week.